So I told you that apart from lining the abdomen and the pelvic walls, right, or covering the basal peritoneum, it is also going to thrown into certain places at certain folds. And at the specific places, it is going to perform specific function, right? And it is named accordingly. So first of all, it's going to make the peritoneal ligaments. ठीक है जी? Only ligaments क्या है? The peritoneal ligaments क्या है? These peritoneal ligaments, these are the two-layered fold of the peritoneum that connect the viscera to the abdominal wall. ठीक है? To suspend the viscera to the abdominal wall. ठीक है? For example, in the case of liver, you can see, right? It is going to be, connected or suspended from the, you see, this is a diaphragm over here. Okay? And it is attached to this diaphragm with the help of these ligaments. Okay? You can see these are the right triangular ligament, the left triangular ligament. These are basically what? These are basically the thickenings of the peritoneum over here. And it is going to form these ligaments to hold that liver in its place. ठीक है ना? If it is not strong so strongly, this is the coronary ligament over here, right triangular ligament, left triangular ligament, and it is going to hold that liver in its place by connecting it with the inner surface of the diaphragm. ठीक है? And like this one, the falciform ligament, right? So the peritoneal ligaments, these are the ligaments which are basically, again, these are the two-layered fold of the peritoneum that connect the viscera, solid viscera, to the anterior abdominal wall, for example, the liver. ठीक है जी? There is another term which we use, I have described it earlier, that it is going to form the omenta. What is the, you see, omentum is a singular, omentum, right? So it's going to form two omenta. कौन कौन से omentas होते हैं जी?
Greater and lesser.
Greater omentum and the lesser omentum. This one, ठीक है? Greater omentum and the lesser omentum. और omenta को मैंने कैसे define किया था? Is a two-layered fold of the peritoneum that connect the stomach to the other viscera. ठीक है? Two-layered fold of the peritoneum that is going to connect the stomach with the other viscera. So it is, it is related. This term is specific with the stomach. ठीक है? किसी और organ पे जहाँ पे ये attachment हो गए, for every organ, this peritoneal attachment has got a specific name. ठीक है ना? How हम आगे पढ़ेंगे आपको पता चलेगा. ठीक है जी? So we have got the omentum first of all, and I told you the omentum is what? It is a two-layered fold of the peritoneum that is going to attach the stomach to the other viscera. Now again, it is of two types. We have got the greater omentum and the lesser omentum. ठीक है जी? Now greater omentum basically over here. It is the Latin word. It means like apron. You see, it is hanging down from the greater curvature stomach like an apron. Okay, and covering the coils underneath the stomach. Okay, stomach के नीचे ये आपको जो intestinal coils नजर आ रही हैं. इसको you see we have just now we have just going to reflect that omentum. This apron को हमने ऊपर की तरफ reflect किया और इसके नीचे आपको ये organs नजर आ रहे हैं. So it is freely hanging. It is coming from the greater omentum. It is coming from the greater curvature of the stomach, and it is freely hanging in front of your coils of the intestines. ठीक है जी? कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है? So it is two-layered. ठीक है? Two layers.
Yes,
two-layered. It is coming. Just show you. Now here you can see the two layers coming from the, you see, enclosing the stomach, one from anteriorly, one other from the posteriorly, right? And these two layers from the greater curvature of the stomach, they're hanging downwards, and they are going to cover these coils of intestine like an apron. When they come at their extremity, they are going, both layers, they are going to reflect backwards on itself, right? And it is going to come upwards and is going to be attached to the two-layered fold, is going to be attached over the colon, transverse colon. ये transverse colon है. ठीक है बेटे? So it means कि ये जो दो layers आ रही हैं और ये दो layers मिलकर they make the four layers, right? Two anterior layers and two posterior layers. Is it clear? And the gap between these two layers it is going to be continuous with this lesser sac. So आपकी जो lesser sac है बेटे, it basically extends from behind the liver, behind the lesser omentum, behind the stomach, and it extends down up to the roll back of the greater omentum itself. So this is, you see, this slit-like space present between these two 4 layers of the greater omentum. ठीक है, यहाँ तक आपकी ये lesser sac extend कर रही है. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, so you can say that these layer of the greater omentum, it is going to enclose the lesser sac also. Is it clear जी? ये 2 layers आने के बाद जब रिफ्लेक्ट के ऊपर जाएंगे तो इन दो anterior to posterior layers के दरमियान में जो space है, it is basically the lesser sac which is going to extend upwards from here and then is going to continue behind the stomach, behind the lesser omentum and up to the liver. Is it clear? Now, what would be the contents of this greater, omentum? इस greater omentum के contents क्या हैं जी? क्या नजर आ रहा है आपको बच्चे?
Sir, intestines.
Contents की बात हो रही है. Intestines उसके पीछे पड़े हुए हैं यार. Intestines, they are lying behind it. It is made of what? Fat, बच्चे. आपको fat नजर आ रही है? It is often laden with the fat. This is all fat. With this, some clear spots and some milky spots, right? So this is all laden with the fat, right? And this greater omentum में यहाँ पे along the border of the greater curvature of the stomach, you will be coming across with the certain vessels. Here you can see this one. This is the greater curvature of the stomach. If you have a look, I told you when I gave you the brief introduction to stomach, that this outer border over this the more convex part over here. This is called as the greater curvature, and this the lower concave, the upper concave border over here. This one is called as a lesser curvature. Okay, so the greater curvature के साथ there is an attachment of this greater omentum, and here you can see in this greater omentum the 2 vessels are running downwards. The one coming from the left side, that is called as the left gastroepiploic artery. Okay, and one coming from the right side, that is the right gastroepiploic artery. So the right gastroepiploic artery and the left gastroepiploic artery, they are going to anastomose with each other along the greater curvature stomach inside the substance of this greater omentum. So contents may we have got the right and the left gastroepiploic vessels, and number 2, it is often laden. You can see this yellow coloration, it is representing what? This is representing the presence of the fat in the stream. Is it clear? Greater omentum में कोई problem तो नहीं है बच्चे? Okay, तो इसका function क्या है? Its function is that it is fully laden with fat, right? So it is a storehouse of the fat. Is it or not? Number 2, it is going to protect against infections, because here in it, nature has provided with the presence of macrophages, and the collection of the macrophages over here in it is represented by the dense white milky spots, right? So there is a presence of the macrophages over there, so it is going to limit the infection. And number 3, it is also going to limit the infection by its physical presence. For example, if there is some infection, I'll just show you. Okay, if some infection is going to take place in the abdominal cavity, in like from some area, then it is going to, it's just like an apron. So it is usko cover to kar hi raha na. It is just going to move to the site of the infection. So wahan pe it is going to become, adherent to that part, infected part. जो भी infected part होगा, ये वहां पे जाके इस तरह उसको seal up कर देगा. ठीक है जी? Right? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
जहां पे भी infection होगी in the anterior abdomen, तो it's just going to be, going to seal that area. ठीक है? So that's what is also called the policeman of the abdomen also. ठीक है? And number 3, इसकी जो attachment है ना बच्चे, at the greater omentum, it is going to divide this abdomen into the 2 compartments. क्योंकि देखिए it is ये stomach से आ रहा है, यहाँ पे आके ये colon पे लग रहा है, transverse colon में. So the organs which are present above the transverse colon, that is called as supracolic part, supracollic compartment, and the one which is below that one, that is a infracollic compartment. So this transverse colon, attachment of greater omentum at the transverse colon is going to divide this abdomen into the two compartments, the supracollic and the infracollic compartment. तो supracollic compartment में फिर कौन कौन से organs आ जाएंगे जी? ये colon आ रहा है transverse colon. तो इसमें क्या क्या आ जाएगा? supracollic में क्या क्या आ जाएगा जी? We've got stomach, liver, spleen. ठीक है? हेलो, आवाज आ रही है बच्चे?
Yes, sir.
Why not responding यार?
Yes, sir.
और जो infracollic compartment है तो फिर यहाँ पे क्या क्या आ जाएगा? You can see the coils of the small intestine here. ठीक है? Jejunum, ileum. उसके बाद we have got the here you can see the ascending colon, ये जा रहा है, ठीक है? और ये descending colon यहाँ से नीचे आ रहा है, ठीक है? So and here you can see the again transverse colon, ठीक है? And the paracollic gutters over here, you see these are the spaces along the ascending and the descending colon, right? So this attachment of the greater omentum coming from the greater curvature stomach and going to roll back on itself and is going to attach along the transverse colon, which is going to divide the abdominal cavity into the two compartments, the supracollic compartment and the infracollic compartment. Supracollic compartment consists of the stomach, liver, spleen, and the lesser omentum, right? Whereas the infracollic compartment consists of these coils of small intestines, that is jejunum and ileal. Then we have got the ascending colon, the transverse colon, descending colon, and these are the spaces behind this ascending and descending colon. These are called as the paracollic gutters, right? So these are this is about the greater omentum. Greater omentum में कोई problem है तो बेटा you can ask me. Is everything clear? Now you can define the retroperitoneal structures, interperitoneal structures. You can define the omentum. Omentum क्या होता है? What is the peritoneal ligament क्या होता है? Problem है तो बेटा you can ask me right now. G, no response from anyone. Are you sleeping, all of you?
No, sir, समझ आ.
Why are you not responding? अभी भी आप बात कर रहे हैं तो why are you not telling me? Okay जी. No, lesser omentum. Again, omentum. Define an omentum. G. Who will define the omentum right now? What is omentum? The two-layered fold of the peritoneum that extends, that is going to connect the stomach with the other organs. ठीक है? The greater omentum जो था, it is going to connect the stomach with the transverse colon, whereas the lesser omentum, it is the fold of peritoneum that extends from the lesser curvature of the stomach to the under surface of the liver. Here you can see this. ठीक है? So this lesser omentum, it basically, extending from this lesser curvature stomach, and also it is going to, attach to the first part of duodenum, that is the first 2 centimeters of the duodenum. Duodenum मैंने आपको बताया ना, otherwise it is what? क्या था ये? It is a retroperitoneal structure, no? ठीक है? So इसके जो first 2 centimeter है, I told you that it is covered with the peritoneum. ठीक है? So is going to give attachment to the lesser omentum. ठीक है जी? Now, portion of this lesser omentum which extends from the stomach to the liver, that is called as a Pepto-Gastric Ligament. It is also called as a Pepto-Gastric Ligament. And one which extends from the first 2 centimeter duodenum to the liver, that is called as a Pepto-Duodenal Ligament, right? So you can say that lesser omentum is divided in 2 parts, named according to its attachment, the gastrohepatic ligament and the
Duodenohepatic.
Right? Or the hepatoduodenal ligament. ठीक है जी? Gastrohepatic ligament or the hepatoduodenal ligament. Clear जी? So hepatogastric ligament and the
Duodenohepatic.
Sorry, hepatoduodenal ligament. So इसके पीछे क्या लाई करता है जी? Which lies behind this lesser omentum? जी,
Sac.
lesser sac, right? So behind the lesser omentum, there lies the part of the lesser sac.
Lesser sac.
ठीक है जी. Now, lesser omentum here you can see it has a right free border. इस बाकी सारे attached ना, you can see the whole of the lesser omentum is attached, coming from the lesser whole attachment to the whole of the lesser curvature up to the liver, and from the duodenum up to the liver. But it has got a right free border, right? And this right free border lies behind this right free border. There lies a oval shaped opening that is called as the EPIPLOIC foramina. And I told you before that this is the communication between the lesser sac and the greater sac. Is it clear ji? Via this foramina, the greater sac is going to communicate with the lesser sac. Okay. Now attachments iski dekhna ji. Inferiorly, it is going to be attached with the lesser curvature of the stomach, okay, and the upper border of the first 2 centimeters of the duodenum, right? Attachment, I'm talking about the attachments of the lesser sac. Lesser sac sorry, lesser omentum hota kya. Now I'm going to talk about the attachments of the lesser omentum. So inferior, it is attached with the lesser curvature of the stomach and the upper border of the first 2 centimeters of the duodenum. And superiorly, it is going to be attached with the liver. और liver पे कैसे attach होता है जी? Just going to show you. Okay. At the liver, it is attached in the form of the inverted L shaped. You see this inverted L shaped. ठीक है जी? No. It has got a vertical limb of L and a horizontal limb of the L, right? Now, its vertical limb here, you see, this is the line of attachment of the lesser omentum of L. Okay, and this vertical limb over here is going to be at the bottom of the this is a fissure in the liver, and this is called the fissure for the ligamentum venosum, right? Okay, ये जो liver है बच्चे, it has got 2 lobes, right lobe और left lobe. ठीक है, इन दोनों के दरमियान में here we have got this fissure on the under surface of the inferior surface of the liver. This is called the fissure for the ligamentum venosum. So the attachment of the vertical limb of the lesser omentum, it is attached at the ligamentum fissure for the ligamentum venosum. Ligamentum venosum क्या होता है? किसी को है concept? What is ligamentum venosum? पढ़ा हुआ है आपने?
सर वो जो फीटल लाइफ में होता है, ये बाद में जब
तो ये क्या है? ये fetal life में क्या ऐसे क्या कहते हैं fetal life में? This ligamentum venosum, it is the fibrous remnant of the ductus venosus.
umbilical cord.
Ductus venosus बच्चे. ठीक है जी?
Yes, ductus venosus.
And ductus venosus is basically vessel present at the fetal life which shunts the blood from the liver to the inferior vena. From the left umbilical vein to the inferior vena. ठीक है जी? So it is this ligamentum venosum, it is the fibrous remnant of the ductus venosus. So the vertical limb of the lesser omentum, it is going to be tight over here, right? And the horizontal limb is attached to this area that is called as the porta hepatis. ठीक है जी? The vertical limb कहाँ पे attach होती है? Fissure for the ligamentum venosum. ठीक है? And then the horizontal limb is attached to the porta hepatis. Now porta hepatis क्या है बेटे? Porta hepatis, it is basically a deep fissure in the inferior surface of the visceral surface of the liver. ठीक है? जहां से through which all the nerves and the vessels and the ducts, they are going to enter or leave the liver. जैसे हमने पढ़ा था ना जी, hilum of the we use the term hilum for the kidney and the hilum of the lungs पढ़ा, ठीक है ना? So that is the basically a point of entry जहां से structures are getting inside the organ and coming out of the organ. So in the case of the liver, it is called as the porta hepatis. ठीक है? So ये क्या है? ये भी एक horizontal fissure है, basically एक deep fissure है in the inferior surface of the liver, जहाँ पे the blood vessels are getting inside and blood vessels and nerves are getting inside the liver, and the ducts and the veins, they are coming outside the liver. The structures which are going to enter or leave the liver, they are basically using this fissure, this horizontal fissure, that is called as the porta hepatis, right? So the attachment of the lesser omentum, it is in the form of the inverted L-shaped, right? And the vertical limb, it is going to be attached with the fissure for the ligamentum venosum, and then the horizontal limb is attached to the deep fissure that is called as the porta hepatis on the inferior surface. Okay, problem तो नहीं है बच्चे, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Attachment पता चल गई जी, इसकी ऊपर attachment कहाँ पे होती है lesser omentum की, or to the fissure for ligamentum venosum and the porta hepatis. आपकी terminologies जो हैं आप इसकी खुद भी एक दफा देख लीजिएगा, then you can let me know, I can teach you later again. Okay. Now, what are the contents? अब इसके contents क्या हैं? जैसे हमने greater omentum के contents पढ़े थे, इसके contents क्या हैं? Okay. So I told you this omentum, lesser omentum, it has got a right free border. And this your right free border anteriorly, ठीक है? यहाँ पे the right free margin में there are three structures are present. ठीक है? वो कौन से structures हैं जी? The right one is here you can see the right one. The most right paper, that is a bile duct, and then hepatic artery, and in दोनों के पीछे there is a portal vein, right?
Portal vein.
So right free margin में it is going to have the hepatic artery, bile duct, and the portal vein, and there are certain of course the lymph nodes are present in this region, or the hepatic plexus of the nerves are present, right? ठीक है, ये तो हो गया जी इसके ये right free border पे. No, here that is what this is the lesser curvature of the stomach. ठीक है, अब lesser curvature पे क्या क्या पड़ा होगा जी? Just show you now. If you have a look over the lesser curvature of the stomach over here, ठीक है, you see यहाँ से we have just removed this omentum and you can see the contents which are present in this region, right? तो यहाँ क्या पड़ा हुआ? यहाँ पे बेटे we have got the left gastric artery here and the right gastric artery here. And these right and the left gastric arteries, they are going to anastomose with each other at the lesser curvature in the substance of this lesser omentum. ठीक है बेटा? Then we have got the ये blood vessels पड़ी है, तो इनके साथ we have got the, मैंने आपको बताया था कि यहाँ पे ये blood vessels होंगी, इनके they will be having the group of lymph nodes. So if you know the blood supply, you can talk about the lymphatics also. Okay, so we have got the gastric group of the lymph nodes, right? And then we have got the gastric nerves. You can see the nerves which are going to supply the stomach here, right? So along the lesser curvature, we are going to have the क्या होगा जी? We have got to we'll get what one, which structures? The right gastric artery, left gastric artery, anastomosis over here, then the gastric nerve and the gastric group of the lymph nodes. ठीक है जी. So contents में we'll talk about the contents in under two subheadings जी. Along this right free border, यहाँ पे हमारे पास ये bile duct थी, hepatic artery and the portal vein, ठीक है. And along the lesser curvature, जो इसकी line of attachment है, तो यहाँ पे क्या पड़ा हुआ था? Right and the left gastric arteries, and then we're making anastomosis, and then the lymph nodes and the gastric nerves. Is it clear जी? कोई problem है तो बेटा पूछने मुझसे भी जी.
No.
Sure. Okay. Now we'll talk about the lesser sac. ठीक है जी. Greater sac भी कर ली थी. Okay. Now the lesser sac. Lesser sac हमने कैसे define किया था जी? This is a hollow space formed by the greater omentum, lesser omentum, and its adjacent organs. ठीक है जी. right? So you can define it. It is as a hollow space. You see this blue coloration over here. So it is in a hollow space. It is a small space that is formed by the greater omentum, lesser omentum, and adjacent organ. Adjacent organs में हमारे पास क्या जी? We got the liver over here, then lesser omentum, the stomach here, and then this you can see the colon, transverse colon, right? So you can say that it is the space which is going to lie behind the stomach and lesser omentum, and here the liver, right? Like this one, right? Now, इसका extend क्या जी? Spiel it extends as far as up to the diaphragm. This is the diaphragm, जी. It is going to extend up to the under surface of diaphragm तक ये extend करता है, right? Or inferiorly, it is going to extend between the, you see, between the layers of the greater omentum. The greater omentum ये मैंने बताया ना, two layers are anteriorly, and then it's going to roll back on itself and going to form the two posterior layers. So इसकी inferior limit क्या है? As far as up to the between the layers of the greater omentum. ठीक है? Superiorly ये under the surface diaphragm and inferiorly between the layers of the greater omentum. ठीक है जी? Now we'll talk about it. Here you can see in this picture, we have, you know, just reflect the, you know, stomach from here to show you this space. This is the lesser side, the space which lies behind the stomach, right? So, superiorly तो मैंने बता दिया कि ये कहाँ तक extend करती है, under surface diaphragm, and inferiorly in the, you know, lower limit of the greater omentum. Or left side पे, it is going to be limited where up to the spleen. ठीक है? ये यहाँ पे आपके spleen का देखिए. So on the left side पे, the left margin is formed by the spleen and this ligament, the gastrosplenic ligament. Again, the two-layered fold of the, you know, ligament coming from the stomach up to the spleen here, the gastrosplenic ligament, and are the, what you see, again you can also say, call it as the omentum, gastrosplenic omentum. ठीक है ना? क्योंकि stomach को ये spleen से attach कर रहा है, right? Extend कर रहा है. और okay, and then we have got the here the splenico-renal ligament here. So from the lateral, from the left side, it is limited by the spleen, gastrosplenic ligament, and the splenico-renal ligament. ठीक है बच्चे? And the right side, we told you, it has got the right free border. ठीक है? और right free border में there is an opening that is called as the EPIPLOIC foramen. ठीक है जी? आपको boundary समझ में आ गई जी omental bursa की? The lesser sac is also called as the omental bursa, right? So it's purely to extend up to the diaphragm, inferiorly up to the, you know, lower margin of the, you know, greater omentum. And left side pay, there is a spleen, gastrosplenic ligament, and the left the splenico-renal ligament. And the right side, it has got the oval shaped opening that is called the EPIPLOIC foramina or the foramen of Winslow. ठीक है जी? कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है बच्चे? जी. No. We'll talk about the EPIPLOIC foramen a bit. If you have a look over the, you know, EPIPLOIC foramina, show you here. So this EPIPLOIC foramina is key. We used to ask, you know, this Viva question. So what are the boundaries of this EPIPLOIC foramina? ठीक है? इस EPIPLOIC foramina की boundaries. EPIPLOIC foramina के anteriorly, it is bounded by the free border of the lesser omentum. ठीक है? इसके anteriorly क्या पड़ा हुआ? Free border of the lesser omentum. और इसी free border lesser omentum में we are, you know, will come across with the three structures, and these are the bile duct, hepatic artery, and the portal vein, right? So when you talk about the relations of the boundaries of the EPIPLOIC foramina, so anteriorly it is formed by the free border of the lesser omentum, and in the free anterior free border of the lesser omentum, there are three structures are present, and these are the bile duct, hepatic artery, and the portal vein. Whereas inferiorly, here you can see there is the first 2 centimeter or the first part of the duodenum, right? The first part of the duodenum. And superiorly over here, we have got this part of the liver that is called as the caudate lobe of the liver. The caudate lobe of the liver, right? And posteriorly, we have got the portal vein. I'll just show you somewhere else. I got a picture of that one. I'll just show you. Just drop it somewhere. Okay, so I was telling you the boundaries, right? So I told you anteriorly इसके क्या था जी? Free border था, bile duct, hepatic artery, and the portal vein. And superiorly, inferiorly मैंने बताया था जी, first part of duodenum है, right? And superiorly, as you can see, we have got this part of the liver. This is called as the caudate lobe of the liver. ठीक है जी? Caudate lobe of the liver. ठीक है? It is making the superior boundary of the epiploic foramen. उसके posteriorly भी जो पड़ा होता है, that is the inferior vena cava. You can see this. ठीक है? The foramen of Winslow say we have removed all these structures over here. You can see the inferior vena cava forming the posterior wall. उसकी जो superior wall है, that is formed by the caudate lobe of the liver. ठीक है? Somewhere else I'll just show you. जी थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हुआ बच्चे आपका? What are the boundaries of the epiploic foramina? Epiploic foramina की anterior boundary क्या थी जी? कौन बताएगा मुझे? Anterior boundary of epiploic foramina is formed by the
Free border of
lesser omentum, and उसमें 3 structures कौन-कौन से थे जी? Bile duct, hepatic artery, and the
portal vein.
Portal vein, right? अच्छा, superiorly it is limited by the, मैंने अभी आपको दिखाया था, the caudate lobe of the liver. ठीक है जी? और inferiorly we have got the first part of duodenum. ठीक है? और इसके posteriorly क्या पड़ा होता है जी? Posteriorly we have got the, here you can see, यहाँ पे आपको नजर आ रहा है, ये देखें ना, ये आपको bile duct नजर आ रही है, anterior wall, और ये आपको ये portal vein भी नजर आ रही है, ये पीछे आपको यहाँ पे, this one, the posterior wall, the posterior most structure in this area, that is the inferior vena cava, right? So inferior vena cava is going to form the posterior boundary of the epiploic. Here you can see this one. ये anterior wall के contents हैं, ये पीछे posterior wall पड़ी हुई है. This is the part of the liver over here, caudate lobe, and this is the first part of it. ठीक है जी? So the foramen of Winslow और the epiploic foramina की boundaries आपको चाहिए. कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है बच्चे? Everything is clear जी?
yes.
Okay. Okay, time we have. Okay. Now, there is another term which we are going to use for the peritoneum, and that is called the mesentery. ठीक है जी? Now, what is the mesentery basically? Mesentery is a Greek word, but sorry. And it is the Greek word which means the fold of the intestine. ठीक है जी? So, the broad fan-shaped fold of the peritoneum, which is going to suspend the coils of the intestine. Here you can see this fan-shaped fold of the peritoneum, which is going to suspend the coils of the small intestines, that is the duodenum and the ileum, from the posterior abdominal wall, right? This is called mesentery. ठीक है? We talked about the peritoneum at different locations. First of all, talk about the peritoneal ligaments, right, by which the solid viscera they are going to be suspended from the abdominal wall. Number 2, we talked about the omentum, the fold of the peritoneum which are going to connect the stomach with the other viscera. And number 3, now we're going to talk about the mesentery. So mesentery, I told you, these fold of the peritoneums, these are named according to their locations and according to the organs they are attached. Is it clear? So mesentery is basically a term which is used for the fold of the peritoneum, which is going to be suspend the coils of small intestine. Okay? So you can see it's a broad fan shaped. It's a broad fan shaped fold of the peritoneum, which suspends the coils of the small intestine with the posterior abdominal wall. So it has got two borders. The border by which it is attached to the posterior abdominal wall, that is called the root of the mesentery. ठीक है, जहां से ये attached होती है abdominal wall साथ, that is called the root of mesentery. And the other border is a free border, which is just going to be attached with the coils of the small intestine. ठीक है, एक free suspended border है जिसके साथ आपकी coils of intestine attached है, और एक इसका fixed border है by which it is going to hang or attach or supported by the posterior abdominal wall. Is it clear जी? Problem तो नहीं है बच्चे? Here you can see. You see this one, this folded material that has been, because the coils of intestine has been removed, so यहाँ से इसको काट दिया गया. So this, this fold of the peritoneum, which is going to be suspend or attached with the coils of intestine, that is called as what? That is called specific name, that is termed as the mesentery. ठीक है जी? Now it is about 15 centimeters long बच्चे. ठीक है, उसकी जो width होती है about 20 centimeters होती है. ओके, जो ये रूट की बात करो, ठीक है, इसकी जो है डायरेक्शन क्या है, इट इज डायरेक्टेड डाउनवर्ड्स एंड टू द राइट. ठीक है, इसकी लाइन ऑफ अटैचमेंट क्या है, डाउनवर्ड्स एंड टू द राइट, यहाँ से. ठीक है जी. एंड नो इट एक्सटेंड्स फ्रॉम द duodenal. You see, this is a duodenum, right? And duodenum is going to continuous with the jejunum. This flexure, this is called the junction point of the duodenum and jejunum. This is called as a duodenal flexure, right? So it is going to extend from the duodenal flexure up to the ileocecal junction. You see, this is the ileum, and it is going to enter into the cecum here. ठीक है ना? Cecum is a blind pouch over here. तो जहाँ पे ये ileum आके cecum enter हो रही है. So the line of extension of the root of the mesentery, it extends from the duodenal flexure up to the flexure of the ileocecal junction here. ठीक है? And if you regarding the talk about it regarding abdominal wall, so it extends from the, you see, left side of the L2. ठीक है? It extends from the, और ये this is a level जहाँ पे आपका ये duodenal flexure पड़ा हुआ junction है, right? So it starts from here, the left side of the L2, and it is extending downwards and to the right, and it is going to be end at the right sacroiliac joint, जहाँ पे हम पढ़ चुके हैं sacroiliac joint when we talk about the hip bone. ठीक है? तो right sacroiliac joint पे the upper part of the right sacroiliac joint. So this is the line of attachment here from the L2, left side of L2 up to the upper part of the right sacroiliac joint. It's soft tissue पे जाएंगे तो that is coming from the duodenal flexure up to the ileocecal junction. ठीक है? Or when it is going to be attached, when it passes from the L2 down to the right sacroiliac joint, then it is going to cross the certain structures. और कौन से structures होंगे जी? Here you can see ये L2 इस level से आएगी, right? Then it is going to cross here. यहाँ पे duodenum था, ठीक है? duodenum को cross करेगा. Then it is going to cross the ये superior mesenteric vessel आ रही है, right? Superior mesenteric